Hey everyone, welcome back. It is Vortie here, and we're going to be focusing on the global version this time around. We're looking at the new characters. I normally wait, well actually no, the way it works is normally when they announce the characters and when the event comes out, we don't have anything because they haven't been converted from the English version to the global, from the Japanese version to the global version yet. However, most of these characters have already been converted and they're already live on Reddit. So shout out to Reddit here for having everything ready for us. I'm just going to jump into the characters and talk about them. Again, at the start of the video here, I'll let you guys know this video is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to be looking at all the characters and most of their abilities. I'll try and keep it as short as possible, but I'm going to dive deep into them and talk about them. So that's kind of how it's going to be. If you want to look at the short version, then take a look at the character review. This is going to be an overview where we're talking about everything that the characters will do. So we'll start off first here by looking at Ulrika. So this little cat lady here is she's pretty interesting. All right. So first off, her TM. Her TM is so when her hit points drops below 50%, she gets these buffs. So if her hit points is, or actually not her, anybody who's wearing this TM's hit points is below 50%, they're doing increased 60% attack, 60% defense, 60% magic, 60% spirit, right? As long as any of that is down, so they get all the things: attack, hit points, defense, magic, spirit, all 60%. But the unit's hit points has to be below 50%. Second it goes above 50%, these effects will disappear. That's how it works. As far as a unit for herself, we're not going to spend too much time on her. Her stats and everything are really low. Her hit points is low, damage is low, everything, right? Just low overall. Her selection of gear is okay for what she's supposed to be fulfilling, but you know, she gets a few weapons and very weak selection of armor. She's got no magic affinity, which means she can't wear anything that could help benefit the party, like cure or casting black magic or casting green magic. Her limit burst, on the other hand, is actually not that bad for chaining, but the percentage is really low. So we'll look at this one here: 270%, single target 9 hit physical attack, and she'll go berserk where she does 300% damage. Whatever, right? It's nothing to be dwelling over. If you do have her, I would probably replace her really quickly with some other characters that have a little bit more utility. All right, so let's take a look at these things. Her kit is gonna be pretty small because she is a very counter-oriented kind of character. So right off the bat, she will know full swing, which does 120% single target damage, physical damage. Then she'll get an attack buff, defense buff, hit points buff. She will have a bunch of counters. Okay, so we'll take a look at it like this way. So we'll just look at the moves here and then we'll talk about what they are, because it's very short. So we got revenge, full revenge, counter heal, full magic revenge, magic flames of rage, flames of rage. Okay, so you can see there's different versions of these revenge, and some of them are just physical and other ones are magical. Okay, and kind of to show you guys how I'm going to be figuring this out as well. As you can see here, here's the Japanese name for the spell. Here is the English, the Japanese version of the spell. They match: revenge. When it says here revenge, so there's a 40% chance that that our little cat girl here will counter with revenge. She will do 210% single target 1-hit attack. She will do 20% chance to counter with full revenge, where she will do 230% AoE physical damage. Then we're looking at counter heal. Counter heal here is just she heals herself for 150 hit points with a modifier of 3. So she'll heal herself when she gets hit. Full magic revenge, which is the next one down, has got a 20% chance of 200% AoE 1-hit physical attack if she is struck by magic, right? If she's struck by magic, she will get the magic attack. It also says it right. Where the hell are you? Where the hell are you? Full magic. Where am I here? There it is. Blind like a bat. So you get attacked, she'll count. The magic hits you, you counter the magic. Easy. Magic revenge. Magic revenge is 180% a single target physical attack. Counters magic again. Magic flames of rage, which is 20% chance to counter magic. Flames of rage, 210%, and also partially unmitigated damage. So you will do 210% AoE 1-hit fire physical attack, ignoring defense by 25%. It's actually not that bad for a counter move. It's actually quite powerful, but again, 20% chance. And then she has a 20% chance to do Flames of Rage, which is her strongest hitting move, 230% AoE hit, fire physical damage, and ignores 20% defense. So it's partially mitigated as well. Overall, her mechanics and her abilities are really, really cool. She can counter with a bunch of different things. She is limited because her stronger hitting abilities are fire-based, number one. Okay, and all of her things are very, very weak. Think about it this way. She counters, right? If you really want to take advantage really well of her, you can put her into two different positions. You can give her materia that gives her cover, or give her golem that gives her cover, right? On top of that, you can use golem to provoke, so she kind of keeps bringing it to herself. So you make her do like provoking in a sense to get the damage on herself, and then she'll be countering with all these different things. That's a potential usefulness for her. However, she's very weak attack, very weak defense, very weak all these components. You're just going to end up having this character that's just dying nonstop. She will never have a chance to counter anyways, because she's going to be dead most of the time because her stats are really weak. Granted, there's lots of gear out there that can buff her and keep her into position, but I do not think that you're going to want to try and do that, because you're, again, playing a game of chance. If the monster you're fighting has resistance to fire, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the big hitting moves that she has. You're going to have to be looking at the ones that are under 180%, like 200% here for the full magic revenge if they're casting magic, right? Overall, the character's usefulness dissipates real quickly when you try to think about, like, where am I going to put this character? Like, how will I actually use this, right? Overall, as a character, I'm just going to say she's probably not going to be very useful. I wouldn't just sell her. I would keep her there and try and get her TM. Her TM is actually... it could be situational. If there's a fight somewhere where you know you're going to be your damage or your units are going to be kept below 50% majority of the time, you might want to put this on a damage dealer. How to kind of situate this? Let's say we're fighting Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh will do his AoE thing when he does his damage. He does a ton of damage. Most of the time your units are below 50%, right? If you put this on a damage dealer, you can actually take advantage of that damage dealer's next turn. So before you heal him up, you will use whatever moves you want to use with that damage dealer, getting that 60% increase in stats, and then heal everybody up after that. You can actually do it something like that. You could put it up on a tank too, or a magic dealer as well. Wouldn't be too bad. It's pretty situational, right? You could get usefulness from it if you know that you're going to be in the thick of battle all the time and your life is going to be pretty low. So overall, her TM, I would say, I would rank it high up there in the situational, but overall, it's you can live without it. Next character, who are we looking at here? We're looking at the Heretic. So it's the Hell Witch. That's the way it's translated in global. She is a Hell Witch, known as a Hellich. All right, so that's the way they've converted her into the global version. Her TM, magic and MP 50% up and 20% dark resistance. Again, a nice TM to have when you're fighting dark element units. She does get the 50% magic on there, which is not that bad. Overall, it's a pretty good TM to put on a caster, magic damage dealer. But as you know how it is in the global version, magic casters are not going to be like the most highest pinnacle of points right now. Personally, if I was using this TM, if I had multiple of this TM, I would probably throw this onto my Noctis or something during an event when I need dark resistance, even putting it on a healer to make sure that they don't die because of the dark resistance. So overall, the dark resistance is the only appealing thing for me here. But again, it will have its usefulness going forward in the future as global gets a little bit more of the dark damage dealing monsters and stuff like that. You're gonna have usefulness for it. So if you do farm it out, you should definitely have at least one or two in your kit to kind of help you out. Overall stats are really weak. She is limited by that 5-star banner or 5-star limitation there. Everything is going to be extremely low. Magic affinity goes up to 8 for black and 5 for green, which is okay. Her limit burst is a single target, one hit dark magic attack, which has a chance of blinding and silencing and also casting virus on the target, which is, it's alright. I mean, if you're going to use it, at least it's got some additional effects to it. Alright, her affinity of magic, she covers fire, thunder, air, and stone. So she gets that second side of the elements. Normally, Aurora and Stone Rock stick together, while as like Fyra and Thundera stick together. I think you're going to be missing the other ones, right? The other mages end up covering. So if you needed the coverage, you can get it. She does get it all the way up to the Ga. The Gas are looked at as 180%. You're looking at the raw spells, which are 140%. You're looking at the just spells, which are 200%. So they don't have those yet. We'll be getting that in the future. So she does get some good coverages. Her abilities, she does get a boost to MP, which is fine. She gets a move called Crazy Fang, which does single target 110% magic attack. It's a one hit, so it's not going to be very good for, what do you call it? Gathering chains, so it's going to be pretty useless for that. Invoke magic, 200% int per use, 200 mag until the next turn. Intelligence, by intelligence I mean magic, so she gets 200% increase in magic. She can only do it once. So she buffs herself. This is kind of like store. You store the next attack, you do it. So next magic she'll cast it, she'll do a 200% increased damage. Just meh. 20% magic increase. Demons Hard Nail, 230% AoE hit. This is actually not that bad of a move for clearing AoE trash. What I do like about this character, remember, she is a 5-star, or I mean, she can go up to 5-star only. So she's a 3-star base. She gets in her kit auto refresh, which is really nice for a 3-star character. In the future, if she does get enhancements, she's going to be pretty useful. Then she learns a Beasts of the Abyss, where it's 250% AoE 2-hit dark magic attack. These can be chained together, but again, it's only 2 hits. You're not going to get a huge benefit out of it. Overall, the unit is okay. She's going to be surpassed, and already is surpassed, by characters like Xdeath and other mages that exist there already. I know that Xdeath doesn't have all the elemental coverages she does, like he's missing Arrow, but she doesn't have dual cast, so she's only going to be able to cast her magic once. So at that point, she's going to be at the low scale down there with dog food for me. You know, like I'm just going to leave her. The character model looks amazing. Like her name is also really cool, like they call it Heretic or Hellich. It was really nice. I like that. I like that she's got auto refresh, but overall, not a very useful unit. Her TM is actually pretty nice, so we'll skip that character too. Alright, so we have Soz, or Soaz. Soz is actually an interesting character. Alright, so he is the Emperor. I'll be referring to him going forward as the Emperor. So as far as the Emperor goes, his materia is actually nuts. I like to use that word, nuts. The reason I'm saying is a materia is nuts is he gets an attack and hit points boost by 20%, and he will give you auto refresh 3% per turn. So this is something, if I do get him, I will farm out his TM and put his TM on my Noctis. So in the global version, Noctis does not have auto refresh. Okay, it was one of the first 5-star units that we have that doesn't have it. The Japanese version, Noctis does have it, but we don't have it for a reason. Right, so this will be going on him for those long fights that he gets that 3% back. It piles up. 3% is quite a lot when your character has, you know, a ton of MP. Right, so it's actually really good. This is a top tier DPS must-have TM, in my opinion. So you don't want to, for example, we have Soluna Ring, and then we have Aiden's vestment of the mind or whatever, that have refresh in the game. So you can either take up a material slot, or you're gonna have to take up a chest slot or a accessory slot. So you gotta pick where do you want to get your thing. Obviously, sometimes you can mix and match to kind of make sure that you get the best potential of your damage, but material slots generally are easier to replace because there's a lot more things to do with them. So I think this is actually a really, really good TM, and it's going to be very useful for a lot of people, especially if you're struggling on long fights. Okay, very, very useful. Let's look at the character here. His hit points are actually pretty good, should be part up there, closer to what most damage dealers should be doing. MP is okay, attack is okay, defense is a little bit lower than what it should be. Magic and spirit not very important for him. As far as the variety of weapons that he gets for an Emperor, he is spot on. He's been trained in all the arts. He knows how to use everything. If you give this guy a straw, he'll kill you with it. Okay, so he's pretty good. His affinity to magic, he only knows black magic up to level 7, which is okay. His limit burst, he does 270% AoE 7-hit physical attack, 150% ignore defense, so he partially also mitigated the damage, which is okay. He does learn fire spells, so he gets a little bit of fire coverage. He knows Fire and Faraga, which is whatever. Okay, so with that said, he is a fire-based unit, so all of his attacks are going to have a little bit of affinity to either physical or physical fire, right? So he's got a little bit of that. So he's got Guardian of Zordado, which increases his It's a passive. Increases attack and defense when equipped with heavy armor, and he will also get 50% fire resistance. Would have been very useful when we had Ifrit, but whatever. He learns suppression, 180% AoE 1-hit physical attack, and AoE 3-turn minus 50% fire resistance to the enemies that he hits, which is fantastic, which is huge. Right? It's nice to debuff the enemies in an AoE. It's just my opinion. Then the next attack, which I would chain to suppression, is called Seize Zoldart. 190% AoE 1-hit fire physical attack, and AoE 3-turn plus 40% fire resistance for himself. Oh, sorry, for the party. So you debuff them with suppression, attack them, and do fire damage to them. 1-hit AoE everyone. Okay. He will also get some buffs, obviously. Attack 20%, defense 20%. He learns Figure Snap, which will remove a stat buff. He's also got Demon Killer, which is pretty cool. 50% physical damage versus demons. He learns in his kit Provoke. 3 turns, 70% chance to be targeted. He does learn Provoke. But as far as his defense go, I'm not sure if you really want to use him as a tank. He's kind of low on that. You'd have to maybe give him some better gear to kind of take advantage of it completely. He will also learn Dragon Killer. He gets a hit points boost. He gets Defense Order, AoE 3-turn defense and spirit buff. He learns also Burning Touch, which is another move that you could chain off of suppression. 210% single target 1-hit fire physical attack, and 5-turn adds fire to his attack. So then all of his melee attacks and ability attacks going forward will have an addition of fire to them. He learns Rock Stance. It's a 5-turn self buff for defense and spirit. So if I was using him as a tank, which he could be, I would use Rock Stance and then Provoke, because what ends up happening is this is 5 turns, Provoke is 3. So you would use this, and then you would next turn you would use Provoke. Then you have 2 free turns to do whatever the hell you want with him, and then again you would use well, technically, yeah, 2. Then you use Rock Stance again, and then Provoke, then Rock Stance, Provoke, and you keep doing it like that, and you'll be okay. His strongest hitting move is called Hell Shaft. 230% AoE 1-hit fire physical attack, which is partially mitigated, and then will also give you a 30% chance to paralyze, which is actually not that bad. It's a good move to have on him, since if you're bringing him along anyways. Alright, he does get some future enhancements that make his abilities pretty good. His Guardian of Zoldad will actually end up taking a 70% fire resistance buff as well instead of the 50%, so it jumps up some percentages there. Then you can actually buff it into tier 2, where he will get everything he's gotten before, plus he will get 20% hit points, and he will be able to cast an ability which is a single target heal. Hit 60 with heal modifier. This is what do you call it? Like a Kuraja spell that he casts on himself, or Kuraga on himself. Hell Shaft gets some pretty crazy boost. It goes up by 250%, and then when you update it the second time, you'll get the Ignore Defense will go up by 50%, and he will get a chance to paralyze by 60%. Defense Order will also get some buffs later on as well. Not very much worthy of chatting about, so we'll jump past that. Overall, he's a pretty decent unit. He's got some fulfillments you can get there. If you don't have a better tank, he could fulfill the tank role, especially for new players till you get your hands on Golem. He's going to be pretty useful because he does have Provoke in his kit. That is a 3-turn Provoke, whereas other characters you kind of get early on are like 1-turn Provoke, whatever, right? So this is a chance for you to kind of be able to utilize that. Overall, this guy's TM is beast, must have. As far as the character, it could be situational for new players. Alright, the last character here is Aline. Japanese version is Eileen, and on the global version it's AI, so Aileen. So whatever you want to call her, you can call her whatever the hell you want. Or as a lot of people are mentioning in the comment sections, saying is she's called Earthlandu. So we'll stick around with Earthlandu, and going forward we're going to be referring to this girl as Earthlandu. We'll talk about her. So the reason we're calling her Earthlandu is because she has the capabilities of chaining similar to that of Orlandu. However, she's going to become more of a competitor to Orlandu when she gets her enhancements in the future, and we'll go over that here as well. All right. So her TM is a spear. She will do 135 attack off of that spear, plus it is an earth element based spear, which is good. It's perfect for her, just kind of like how Sparky is for Olive. Overall stats for a damage dealer, her attack, her hit points is pretty high for a damage dealer. MP is pretty good for what she needs it. Her attack is a little bit weak. I would like it to be like in 170s to make it a little bit more to keep up with other characters. Everything else is whatever. As far as this girl as well, she's got every single weapon she can wear, and I think every armor things. Yeah, she can wear everything. So whereas the other guy, if you give him a, you know, like a straw, he could kill you. If you gave her nothing, she'd still kill you, right? And you'd be like, how the hell does this happen? She's just badass like that. She can equip pretty much everything. Her limit burst is 290% single target 4-hit physical attack. It is partially mitigated by 50%. It's not that bad. Whatever, if you have to use it, use it. Alright, so let's get to the itty bitty gritty. Itty bitty gritty. She already has this inner kit naturally as of what do you call it? 6-star. She learns a move called passive move called Analysis. She gets 30% increase to attack and physical damage versus mechanical units and stone units, which is actually pretty good. It's a killer effect against mechanical units and stone units. She learns Gather Limit, where she does 100% single target, 1-hit physical attack, which is, ignores 25% defense, and it's a 5-turn self buff by 200% limit burst fill rate. Not bad to have. Normally these are magic cast, but she does damage plus she buffs herself, which is actually pretty good for a damage dealing unit. She has Refresh Tool, which is kind of what Ling has, like her AoE MP Refresh. She does an AoE 10% MP heal, which with a modifier of 0.3, which is I think exactly like Ling's. That's split over 3 turns. So she buffs, she gives you MP, and then she'll give you some more over 3 turns. She also learns Libra, or like you call it Libra Analyze, whatever you want to call it. She learns Soil Works, 180% single attack, ignores defense by 25%, but for 5 turns will add earth element damage to her attacks. Pretty badass. Recovery Oil is a AoE Curaja. AoE Curaja with a regen effect on it. So she gives you regen, AoE regen essentially. Her buffs that she does to herself for passives: 20% hit points, 30% attack, 20% MP. Pretty good. She gets auto refresh, which is what you want from a 5-star unit. And then Earth Build, 3-turn AoE, 100% petrified resistance to everyone, which is good. And then the big move. So we have Divine Ruination, which is what we have on the global version for Orlando. Pile Driver is the thing that it's called for her. 200% single target 5-hit physical attack, ignores defense by 50%, and for 3 turns it minuses 50% earth resistance to the character she hits. So just like Orlando, the first strike of her ability will reduce the defense by 50% to earth for the rest of the attack. So of the 5 attacks she launches, the first one will put up the defense, then the 4 attacks that come after that are all going to be, you know, taking advantage of that earth resistance. So with her TM, which is earth-based attack here, plus if you do buff her with her other thing here, she's going to be having that additional earth damage added to her attack, making it just that much stronger. But like I said at the start of the video, she really starts to take effect for this later on, and you have to level up her Pile Driver for both tiers. So first tier, she will get a 50% increased damage in her attacks. When it really takes effect is when she gets the Pile Driver +2, where she will do an additional 2 hits, and it will reduce the earth resistance by 75% instead of 50%. She will get 2 more hits, increase the damage by another additional 25% earth damage. It's freaking bonkers. She becomes a huge damage dealing powerhouse when she gets her enhancements. So again, we don't know when these are going to be coming out. I mean, she's just got put into global. Probably in a few months you might see her enhancements, but keep that in mind. She does need the power, which is the red crystals for the global players. So remember that, and it tells you exactly what you need of every tier, so you can actually prepare for her if you do get her. But overall, she's a powerful unit. If you're going to be pulling on this banner, go for it. You have the Vortie approval. She is definitely up there with Orlando. Right now, she's going to be able to do some chaining if you have her or have another friend that you can bring along. But she's really not going to shine till she gets her enhancements. When she does get her enhancements, you're going to be very, very happy that you do have her. Personally, I will not be pulling on this banner because she is the only character here that is really worth something to me. The other characters, as I'm getting tickets and doing daily pulls, I'm sure I'm gonna get at least one of them, which is exactly what I want. I don't really need to fly them. It is not a exclusive banner. There's no reason for me to go Arm & Ham and Bacon Soda on this, like I did for Orlando. I went hard on Orlando so that I had the 2 chainers, so I don't really need this chainer, because if I do get her, she's not gonna be chaining with my Orlandos, and I only have one of her. so I'm not really going to be bringing her a lot with me when she's going to be wasting a slot where I could kind of be more crafty to help Orlando's. I mean, if I do get her, I'm still going to be pretty happy. I'm going to be pretty hyped about it, right? But overall, I'm just waiting personally for Riku. I want that girl bad. She's going to be the next big character that's going to change the game. She becomes a staple for cheesing and being able to beat the events a little bit easier later on. So when that banner does come out, you're going to hear a little bit of a different tune coming from Vortie. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you found this informative. Like I said earlier, this video is going to be a little bit longer, but it is an overview. If you guys don't understand how that works here on Vortie's channel, on my channel, reviews mean I'm just going to look at the unit and what they show me is what we're going to talk about. When we're talking about overviews, whether it's an event overview or a character overview or unit overview, that means we're going to be going and looking at all the abilities. If you don't want to know everything, then don't watch the overview. That's pretty much how it is. But if you want to know everything about the character, then you probably might want to watch the overview. Alright, so hopefully I got everything out there for you guys. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below, are you going to be pulling for Aileen? Are you going to be pulling for her? Right? And let me know if you already have Orlando, and if you are going to be pulling for her, why? Maybe I should be pulling for her too. But like, help me know, help me decide, because I honestly, like I said a second ago, I'm torn between it because I have 2 Orlandos. If I really want to make her be effective, I should have 2 of her at least, and then I have to wait for her enhancements. I don't really know. So let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys in the next video. This is Vortie, and I'm out of here. Peace.